Well, hello everybody and welcome to Lunch Break Live, real talk about obesity, food addiction, recovery, and what's really eating you. I am Cari Cruz. As you can see, back in my office, so I am not broadcasting today from hubby's truck. Right here where I'm comfortable and happy and there's air conditioning and my, vaporizer and all of the good things. I am so grateful that you guys are with me. I can see those numbers increasing as people join me. Thank you so much. Come on in. The water's fine. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today I thought, hey, what the heck? Why don't I do one of those input-output deals where you give me some input and I give you my output. So you guys were so great about giving me some things to talk about that I am definitely going to be doing my best to address those things. And we'll see how the time looks and see if there's time to go back if you guys add some questions for me down here. So for now, let me look and see who is here. That's always a super good idea. All right, let's see here. I see my mama front and center. How you doing today, Mom? Yesterday was a really big day. I'm really proud of you for showing up and doing what you had to do. I love that. And Nancy, thank you for being here. Susan, Christy, Bonnie. Oops. Oh no, I did that thing. I figured out how to make it go away. Yay. Facebook is always doing things to mess me up. And Trisha, hi, and Diane. So glad you guys are here. Now, if anyone else said they were here, Facebook, just Dorothy, hi, welcome, come on in. Facebook does not always let me know who's here. So if you guys are here, I want Sarah, hi, come on in, welcome. So glad you're here. Finish a sentence, Cari, finish a sentence. Facebook is not always great at letting me know who's here in a timely fashion. So I'm not ignoring you if I don't see your name pop up or if you're saying, hi, Cari, and I'm just not seeing it. Okay, so, forgive me for not doing anything wrong. Hey, Greg, well, I haven't seen you in like a long time. Have you ever been on the show with me or just online? Hey, welcome, come on in. All right, so let me dive in with some of my output to your input and let's see how it goes from there, okay? All right, first of all, Amanda. Amanda was my first brave victim, I mean contributor. And here's her question. What's your opinion of and advice for the dreaded regain? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I added that. She didn't type that. I'm struggling with this. Regain happened so fast, it's scary 6 years out. Okay, so she said, what's your opinion of and advice for the dreaded regain? Okay, well, I have given this a great deal of thought. And I've decided that my opinion of regain is I don't think it's a good idea. Okay. But, I'm thinking that's probably not what you were looking for, huh? Yeah, you're like, I don't want your opinion about it, whether you think it's good or not. I'm thinking you want to know my advice. Well, I'm going to duck the advice part and go straight to my thoughts on it because, hey, I don't give advice. Why would I give advice if I don't take my own? Really? Okay, here's what I'm thinking. Yes, okay, regain is a fact of life. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a guaranteed part of life. I am saying it is a fact of life. It can happen. It does happen. It doesn't have to be permanent. I'm pretty sure the word permanent is not in front of the word regain. I have yet to find something that says permanent regain and, you buy like an e-ticket to Disneyland and that's it. And once you get on the ride, you can't get off. I'm pretty sure that's not it. So regain does not have to happen in many cases. Now, granted, I am not talking about the areas where we cannot control it. But you know what I think? I like to think that a lot of those instances are fewer and further between than we maybe want to accept. And you've heard me talk about it before. Now look, I get it. Steroids, bad things for regain. I mean, you're gonna puff up and you're gonna weigh more and maybe they make you hungry. And there are some drugs out there that make you hungry, right? They don't make you eat though. This is the thing, okay? The drugs out there that can have a side effect of being hungry do not hold a gun to your head and make you eat. They don't force feed you like the parrot in Aladdin, okay, like stuffing crackers in your mouth. No, they don't. You do that part. So, is it easy? No, of course not. But this is where we have to show up for ourselves and take responsibility for our actions, okay? So really the net result, when regain is the net result, that's because that's the output based on our input. isn't it? So we need to decide, is this okay with me? Is this regain okay with me or not? Am I going to allow it to be a permanent part of my life or not? If you don't like it, then do something different, because you know what you had to do in order to regain the weight, right? And even if it looked a little different because maybe you had surgery and you're like, yeah, but I didn't do it quite this way before. Yeah, you did a lot of the same stuff before. You did a lot of the same stuff that got you to that place where you were going to have surgery, okay? So anyway, and somebody just popped up with a comment in my face, and I don't do well with like too many notifications popping up at the same time. Remember the pachinko game I told you about? Yeah, that. Okay, so anyway, regain. So really, it is time to be honest with yourself. And if you're on to you, then you know what's contributing to your regain, and you know what part you have to accept and what part you can change, okay? And then it's your job to step up and do it, all right? Do what you've got to do. So that's my answer. I mean, it's not advice like, how do I lose regain? Then stop doing what you did to gain. I mean, that's a good first step, don't you think? Okay, so that's my answer for you, Amanda. Christy. Gosh, Christy, you're killing me. Always making me think, huh? All right. In your recovery, did you have an aha moment where something clicked and you just got it, gave it over? Or was it more of a gradual overtime experience? People experience both, so I'm curious about which you had. First of all, let me welcome 2 new people in. Marnie, VSG, so happy you are here, and Mexi Marge, one of my new regular viewers. Thank you for being here. I'm really glad you're here. All right, so Christy, was it like an aha moment where recovery just all of a sudden, like a light switch, or was it gradual over time? All right, well, it's like my car. Okay, so it's going to be a hybrid answer. All right, you get it? Isn't that clever? Okay, maybe not. Here's the thing. You guys have heard me talk about the hokey pokey, right? 1 foot in, 1 foot out, whole self in, whole self out, one arm. Okay, I did that with what I called recovery for a while. And then really I realized it was more about sobriety or abstinence, okay, than recovery, because they are different things, okay? You can be in recovery and not be abstinent or sober because of the choices that you're making, you know? We've seen it happen before, okay? And I'm not saying that someone who's a raging addict is in recovery, but remember, I guess not being an expert on this, recovery is like a mindset, right? It's what and abstinence is your behavior. Okay, and so you want those 2 things to be in support of one another. It's kind of like faith, right? Your actions come out of your faith. If you have a faith, then the things that you do are a result of that faith. If and your beliefs, let's say you believe you want to help people, then your actions come out of that belief. So if recovery is the belief that I need to make the healthiest choices I can to be the best version of myself, then my abstinence or my sobriety is going to be the behaviors that are in support of that principle. Okay, so let's see here. Once I stopped dancing around the whole what does it all mean to me, I decided I needed to get my whole self in or my whole self out, and that was just it. No more dancing around it. It's either you're in or you're out, right? All in. Okay. So I've had a few aha moments, I guess you could say, along the way, and I fully expect to have more, by the way. I don't think I'm done with those. All right, so let's see here. I think maybe sometimes people are saying, is there like a cold turkey thing where you have to like go cold turkey like you're quitting smoking? Well, yeah, in a way. I mean, because 1 minute you're smoking and the next minute you're not. 1 minute you're choosing to live in recovery and the next minute you are starting to live in recovery. But again, we want to put together with that recovery part the sobriety, whatever that looks like. And for me, it is food abstinence for things. Want to be sober. I want to live a sober recovery, okay? So yeah, it does happen. 1 minute you're not, the next minute you are. So in that sense, yeah, and it is a decision. It's a finite moment in time. It's a decision where I say yes or no. I want it now and will do it and am doing it, or no, not going to do it. So you can't it's like being sort of pregnant. Yeah, you just can't be. All right, let's see here. What did I put? Okay, aha moment. Stopped arguing with myself. That's number 1. I went, oh my gosh, every time I argue with myself, I lose. Every time I look at that food and I say, I'll just have one bite. I'll just have one piece. I won't have the whole package, whatever. I would believe my own lies. I would argue with myself, and I always lost because, of course, it was never just one piece or one bite. It was the whole package, okay? So I stopped arguing with myself because I realized that's kind of stupid, right? Because when I argue, I lose every single time. So kind of logic came into the picture. Honestly, you can't argue with logic because it's like recovery. It's like sobriety, okay? You're either sober or you're not. You're either abstinent or you're not. There's no gray area for me, okay? And so that's why I look at logic. Okay, let's see here. I had to address it logically because emotions are addictive for me. A lot of us are people who live for our emotions, how we feel. You know, oh, I feel sad. I feel angry. I feel helpless. I feel hopeless. I feel out of control. I feel angry. Okay? And we feed that. We feed those emotions. Well, logic doesn't have room for that stuff. It either is or it isn't, okay? It's not opinion-based, in other words. So once I decided to allow logic to inform my actions, things did change. And it was like a light bulb that kind of said, oh my gosh, you know what, this isn't about how I feel. Because when I ate over how I felt, it never ended well, and I always felt worse. That was kind of not logical. It wasn't a logical outcome. A logical outcome says, when I start this, I don't stop every single time. Therefore, logically, I will not start it, and then I don't have to worry about stopping it. So there's that part. Also, I learned to embrace recovery as a gift. I have the gift. It's been given to me, which is why I freely give it to you guys. I share it with you guys. And what that looks like is if I have a gift, I need to cherish it and protect it and do all I can to preserve it and hold on to it. And again, so that's the mindset. The behavior is my list. I have that food list, that physical food list that's on my computer that says these are the things that once I start, I don't stop. Okay? And again, once they're on the list, they don't come off. And things do go on the list from time to time. They get added, okay? My list will look different than other people's lists. It's a very personal list to me, but it is a very physical list. So again, that's my behavior for abstinence, which supports my choice, my mindset for recovery, okay? It is like faith. Honestly, I am grateful. I have the gift of faith and I have the gift of recovery, okay? Let's see, no more denial. Had to kick that to the curb because I was really good at denial. I talked to myself and just used declarative statements like, this is not an option. Can't argue with that. See, if you use things that say, I don't want it, that doesn't sound good, I don't need it, I will argue with that every time and lose because I will say, it does look good, I do want it, and yes, I do need it. Don't tell me what I don't need, right? So, not an option, can't argue with that in my mind. Not gonna happen. Sometimes I have to pull the parent card on myself and say, yeah, okay, great. I see what you want. I see what you're angling for here. Boo, poor you. Right, not going to happen, Cari. That's what I do. Talk to myself like that. Because the bottom line is this, and this is what I take away from it, and maybe this will work for you. The food never delivered on promises I made to myself, ever. That's kind of the bottom line. How do you argue with that? The food never delivered on the promises I made to myself. So that's it. All right. That's the answer for you, Christy. Next, Nancy. In your recovery, do you still follow the gotta do-ums? And if so, do you consider it a part of your recovery? And if not, has something different taken their place? Okay, well, I don't call them gotta do-ums, if that matters. Okay, I don't call them that anymore. They're just things I do if I want to live the best version of me. So I know what's involved in that, right? Because remember, kick the denial to the curb using logic. So logically speaking, I know the things that work if I want to live the best version of myself. Sometimes I do more of those things. Sometimes I do less of those things. And I know when I'm not doing enough. Because again, I'm on to me and I'm honest with myself. I know when I'm not doing enough and when I need to do more. We're talking about, okay, maybe it's the simple things like eating right, staying hydrated, getting your vitamins, right? I know what happens when I forget to take my vitamins. Got to start them again. I know what happens when I'm dehydrated. I know what happens when I'm not eating right, okay? So those are the things we look at. But those are the building blocks, basics that we got to do. Okay, so you can call them got to do-ems. I'm just saying I know it's what I do, all right? We also have exercising regularly, which I haven't been doing. I have not been exercising regularly, and I know it would be good for me to do that Because my pain levels are now manageable. So there is no more anything that has gotten in the way of that, whether I allowed it to get in the way or whether it did get in the way or whatever. No excuses, because recovery, there's no room for excuses in recovery. Do what you got to do. There's maybe the use of the word got to do them. I don't know. So exercise, regular exercise, very, very good. Lots of things out there like therapy. Okay, I don't see a therapist right now. I did text him last week. God love him. He sent me the nicest text. He said, I'm always here for you if you should ever need to see me, but I hope you never need to see me, he said. Anyway, so yeah, therapy. If you need therapy, get therapy. Do it. Work it, okay? Support group. Maybe it's OA, Overeaters Anonymous. Some of you guys have found that. Maybe it's your bariatric support group if you're a bariatric patient, all right? Maybe it's Weight Watchers, TOPS, whatever it is, go and get the support you need. That is one of the things that needs to happen to get what you say you want for your life, to be the healthiest version of yourself, okay? Getting support and being here with me, every day. I kind of think this is supportive too, right? Let's see. Got to absorb the support you're getting. Okay, if it's all just like coming in and going right through and nothing is sticking around. So if you're hearing good stuff and you're going, yeah, that sounds really good, really good, really good. I should do that, and then you never do it. Okay, we've got to transfer that from that sounds like a good idea, I should do it, to it was such a good idea, I am doing it. That's what we need to do with support, okay? So in other words, don't just sit there and soak it all up like a sponge, because at some point the sponge can't take on any more water, can it? All right, so that's what we want to do. We want to start absorbing the information that we're gaining and applying it to our recovery. Got it? All right, so let's see, what else? What else did I have? All right, basically, you could sum it up and say GDEs, gotta do ems, are a part of recovery, because health is a part of recovery. So that's how I'd answer that question. But ultimately, this is the note. You gotta do it for you, not me. You're not doing it for me. You're not doing it for anyone else. This is my opinion. Okay, some people would say, well, I'm doing it for somebody else. I'm doing it for my kids. I'm doing it for my husband, whatever. But, that can run thin, but you're always with you. So I was kind of thinking, wow, maybe if I did it for me, and since I'm always here and can't get away from me, that might be a lot more reliable or permanent. Anyway, a lot of people do look for accountability partners, which I think is great, and that's fine. But for me, I was really good at lying to myself and the doctor and lying to the Weight Watchers people and the nutritionists and all the people, right? So what would be different this time? Why wouldn't I lie to my supposed accountability partner? And you could say, well, but you've decided you're going to stop lying. You're going to be honest. Yeah, no. If someone else was involved in my equation, I found ways to lie because I didn't feel good about myself and I didn't want them to feel bad about me because I'm a people pleaser. So I got to be honest with myself, and I'm the one I got to answer to. I answer to me. I don't answer to my hubby. I don't answer to my daughter or my mom or my friends or you guys. I don't even answer to you guys. I answer to myself. So I don't do this show to keep myself accountable or to keep myself honest. I'm either honest and accountable to myself or I'm not. So, okay, so that's my answer to it, of course, which is all you're going to ever get here. Let's see. I eat it. I own it. I do it. I own it. I don't do it. I own it. Got it? Okay, so at 48 past the hour, let's see what you guys are talking about there and see if there's something I can address pretty quickly here. So let's see. Leanne, hi. Welcome. Kiwi friend. Kathy Ditmore, hi. How are you? Hi from Elysian Fields, Texas. I'm so glad to see you here. Let's see. Christy. No, I was kind of asking if it all just kind of clicked, as in you gave over your overeating one time, then you were abstinent from then on, or like me, I get abstinent for a week and then take it back. Well, okay, let me finish what you said. Then take it back, then get abstinent again. Okay, I think sometimes people dance around this and say, so you're looking for perfection then, right? You have to get it right every single time. And once you make that commitment, you're saying, I'm never going to have a slip up, I'm never going to make a mistake, and I'm never going to get it wrong. So I just need to leave myself an out because I just think it's really unrealistic to, okay. All right. To me, it felt like getting married and saying, but I can always get a divorce. If it doesn't work out, if I'm not happy, I can just get a divorce, or I could just cheat on him. Okay, I could do that too. I could totally cheat on, my marriage if it doesn't work out and I'm just not as happy as I thought I would be. Okay, to me, I was like, oh, no. once I make that decision, it's like a principle for me that says, yeah, okay, that's not an option anymore. So what stopped me for so long from making that decision was the constant rhetoric, the constant, I can't live without it. What if I can't live without it? What will I eat when I want something sweet? What will I eat when I want something salty? What will I put in place of it? How will I live without it? How will I live without it? That's what constantly, that was the refrain in my mind. That's what kept me from what I allowed to keep me from choosing my sober food abstinent recovery. And one day I woke up and I literally said, I can't live with it. It is not about living without it. It is, I cannot live with that anymore. I don't like the way it makes me feel. I don't like it. It feels horrible. When I do that, I'm not doing it to anybody but myself. And I am the one feeling all of it. And I hate the way I feel about myself when I do it. If I am tired of feeling that way, then isn't it logical to conclude that I won't do the thing that makes me feel that way anymore? It's like, if you constantly, run into a wall and it hurts your head, at some point you say, okay, like I used to tell my daughter, stop running into the wall with your head, either because it's dumb to run into the wall with your head or because it feels good when you stop. Why would I start running into the wall again if I remember why I stopped? I don't care why you stopped, because it was stupid to start or because it hurt. And so you stopped because you're tired of the hurt. For me, I was tired of the hurt. So, yes, it's a decision that you make, and it really is like a light switch, on, off, on. That's it. But once that light switch got turned off on the foods, it's up to me not to turn it on, not to flip the switch again, because I'm accountable to myself. That's it. So that, it might sound simple, but that is why recovery is such a gift, because to me, there is no other option but this. So that's my answer to that. So get abstinent again? Nah, get abstinent. No again, do it. That's it. It's a choice that you make. All right? Okay. Let's see. So far, Christy, I have to keep on or I keep damaging myself, Kathy says. So in other words, you're going to keep going. When was it? I want to say yesterday. I don't remember when it was. There are always what would have been temptations, or there are always things out there that, I could look at and say, those were always, I loved those all the time, whatever they were. I loved eating that, or I loved doing that, whatever it was. I loved the experience of, I think it was when we went to the, quote, all you can eat, Easter brunch buffet at El Torito. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I have just purchased the world's most expensive half an omelet. Done. But I'm not going to put that on the restaurant and say, hi, excuse me, I had bariatric surgery, so could you charge me like the child's price because I can't eat as much? It's not on them. I mean, they didn't say, go ahead and have bariatric surgery and we'll help you out. And I'm like, don't go to the restaurant then on the special Easter brunch day where you pay $22 a person for a half an omelet. Okay, don't do that. So in other words, I own it. Again, this is the accountability, responsibility thing. It's not up to you, restaurant, server, to support my life choices for recovery. Okay, so I'm there and I'm looking around. Yeah, there's a dessert table. There's churros. There's desserts like rice pudding. There's flan. There's cookies. There's horchata to drink, and there's just on and on. And then the whole Mexican area with the enchiladas and the sausage and the corn mash stuff that I love that has honey in it. And okay, not options. And it would be real easy to get down about it and go, oh, poo, I'm so sad because I can't eat that anymore. Or I could just say, you know what? I remember where that road led every single time. I felt terrible about myself every single time. I never felt better when I left this place. And guess what? I never felt like I got my money's worth either. So really, I can put this on the restaurant and say, you guys suck because you won't give me a discount and you won't let me take half my omelet home, even though you know I can't eat the whole thing. Or I could say, you know what? My choices, my recovery, not the restaurant. Okay, so I'm going to do what I need to do to take care of myself. So it sounds to me, Kathy, what you were saying is exactly what I'm saying, and that is to do that other thing, to cross that line, to swim back to the other shore after being on Recovery Island would just be damaging to myself. And I'm just not interested in doing that because I have, 45 years of experience doing that. Didn't end well in my end. Okay, so there you go. Hey, Chris Simpson, really glad you are here, Mr. Simpson. What a surprise, by the way. Cool. Okay, Greg, I'm on to me. Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh, once I figured that out, I was like, damn it, I'm on to me. I can't fool me anymore, right? Exactly. It works for me a lot. Exercise is your happy pill. Okay, can help. You know, Christy, and it was for me for a while, and then I got injured, and I had a lot of pain and all this stuff, and it's like, ooh, it stopped being as much fun, and I, stopped being as liberating and freeing as, I wanted it to be, and it was really disappointing. So I just had to move it to a different category, and it is beneficial, and it is worthwhile for me, but when there's pain involved, it tends to be a little less happy for me. But hey, you know what? I got to take care of the body so it doesn't hurt more. All right. Nancy says, we definitely need to do it for ourselves so we can be our best selves. Exactly. For others, if we are only doing the right thing, it typically won't last. That's right. It's the wise choice, which, by the way, wise right now may be different next time. It may be. That's why we're living in the moment, is make the wisest decision that we can make. All right. Has to start in me, Kathy says. Can be for a lot of reasons, but the buck has to stop in me. Absolutely. Excellent. Great summation on that. Absolutely. You can do it for a lot of reasons, but you have to do it for you, because you're the only one that is accountable for your behavior, your actions, right? I love that. Perfectionist. Yeah, you're going to have to, Christy, I suggest you put that one aside. You got to find a way to address it. I have talked about perfectionism on shows before. Perfectionism is a progress killer. It is the opposite side of that, or the friend of that, or they pal around. Procrastination. They pal around together. They're like this. Procrastination and perfectionism. Yeah. Because, you get paralysis and you don't even want to start because you can't do it perfectly, even though you can't do it perfectly, because that's not a reasonable standard. Yeah. So you got to find ways to talk to yourself. Good enough doesn't work for me because I know it's not. But I'll say that'll do. That will work for now. This is what's required of me. This is what I had time to accomplish. This is what, okay, I had to find phrases that I would not argue with, because it always comes back to argument. And remember, recovery is not just about eating or doing drugs or anything else. It really is that mindset, right? So the mindset for me was perfectionism runs contrary to my peaceful recovery, because there's nothing peaceful about perfectionism. I'm always unhappy because I've always missed a mark that I couldn't possibly hit. So for me, that's one of those things I put in the recovery basket. There's no room for perfectionism here. There is do my best, in that moment, given what I have, whatever that is, energy level, tools, time, whatever. Just do my best and move on. So, yeah, we'll talk about that more. Let's see here. Pretty sure I'm not in recovery yet. Well, you know what? It took me time. It took me time, and there is this amazing peace that comes over you when you're there. And that, again, is that feeling, right? That peace that comes from the healthy behaviors. Okay, those reinforce that wonderful feeling. And when you feel that, it's a lot harder to give it away. It's a lot harder to give it up. You look at the chocolate chip cookie and you go, yeah, no, not worth my peace. Okay? All right. As we close in on it. Hi, Susan. Susan Jean? Susan, I never know what to call you. So, Susan, hi, I'm really glad you're here. You can be in recovery, not perfect, but recovery. Right, because it's about progress, not perfection. And I'm saying, look, to me, perfectionism, it was a hindrance. It was an impediment. It was an obstacle to my healthy, serene recovery. So I had to put that one down. And when I threatened to pick it back up again, I just talk to myself and remind myself that's about perfectionism, and I don't need that, because that does not bring me peace. So. All right, then. I love that you guys are sharing out there, and I am going to let you go as we close in on the 30-minute mark. So grateful that you guys were able to join me and help me to form my output for today. I really, really like that. I really, really appreciate that. I hope you guys got something from today's program. And as ever, one of the things that's going to come out of this is your desire to bring this message, and that's, by the way, the 12th step, bring the message of hope and recovery to others. People who may not be aware of it, right? Christy didn't even know really about OA before we talked, and that's a gift, isn't it? So we got to bravely and courageously share this news of recovery and sobriety with people that we think will benefit. And I'm not just saying everybody on your friends list, okay? I get it. But boy, don't we want this peace and tranquility and health for people that we love? I do. All right, I'm going to let you guys go, and I'm going to sign off and remind you all to have courage, seek peace, embrace joy, and above all, live your recovery. Remember, you can't stop feeding what's eating you. If you don't know what's eating you, I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye.